Hi everybody, it's me, Jessica lwhor, and you're watching lwhor Tube, and we're back with another Jess Talk. Now before we get started with today's video, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, you've hit the bell for notifications, and you're not missing out on any lwhor content. You don't want to. Today's Jess Talk is about drag and kids. Let's get into it.
Attention lwhor, attention lwhor, attention lwhor, attention. Here I am walking down the street, seeing all the boys trying to take a peek. Shorts pulled up, a chest out right. Come on boys, just take a bite. Look but don't touch, spin it round and round. Crazy.
Okay, so this Jess Talk is about drag and kids coming to drag shows, combining the two, and this is a hot topic.
Yeah.
I feel like this has been a hot topic for years, but it is heightened more than normal. I feel like this is such an excuse of a distraction. Does that make sense? Like, this is something easy that we can get mad about. Not having kids at shows or drag queens or entertainers showing up in spaces where kids are. I feel like it's a distraction away from other things that are happening. Does that make sense? Like, of all the things that could be fixed or changed or focused on, this is a
Like, this is what the problem is.
Yeah, and
it's like first world problem.
Exactly, and it's not a problem. It's a problem because they want, it's the easiest thing to make a problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, in my experience personally, I go by different personas, and that's whether I'm around kids. If people are coming into my house, my show, my venue, I let them know immediately what type of show they're coming to. You are coming to an adult show, not so family-friendly drag show where we will be talking about adult topics. This is an XXX rated show. The same thing when I walk in, I say, hi, I'm Miss Jessica. This is an all ages and family-friendly show today, just so everyone's on the same page, so everyone knows what they've signed up for. What does all ages and versus family-friendly mean to me? If I see a show and it says all ages, okay, that means anybody can come. But if I don't see the family friendly, to me, as somebody that's coming to an event, that says, okay, I'm making the choice to bring my children. However, there may be adult topics being talked about. And at that point, you need to figure out, like, what level of maturity and is this the right environment? I think that's at the discretion of every parent in any situation or any guardian. And so I look for the all ages family friendly thing. I think it's super important for kids to come to all ages events, to drag story times. Why? Because I look back when I was a kid, and I didn't have that role model growing up. One, I grew up in a very conservative household of like, you can't be queer doesn't exist. Well, it does, but devil. And so I didn't even know it was the thing, I guess. I wish that I would have had queer role models to look at growing up, my teachers, my educators, my doctors that were more open about it, so maybe that could have been something that I could have figured out sooner. Everyone wants to call drag entertainers when they're on kids groomers, which is super insulting, first of all, but when you boil down the idea of groomer, it's to say, like, we're forcing something into your mind to change. And in reality, as these kids are growing up, they're going to make their own decisions anyway. They're going to learn about these things on their own anyway, regardless of what you do. And no matter how much you tell your kids what they cannot be or cannot go and do, you never know how they're going to turn out. They're going to turn out the way they're supposed to anyway. You're going to have kids that have no desire to be around drag entertainers, and that's great. You have others that may find out that they're queer, that they're trans, that drag is a way of an expression for them, whatever. I think that it's important for kids to see this as an influence, and it also, what are we doing? We're dressing up as princesses, which is no different than a theater, a play that you might take your kids to, and we're reading books, you know, we're talking about not bullying. I went to a career day and I talked about drag as a career, and that was offensive to people, and that's what blew up the whole Miss Jessica thing back in the day. But I think it's so interesting that people are focused on this one small thing, when in reality we're no different. Like, it's like you're trying to say queer people don't exist. Like, queer people are everywhere. We're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Whether we're dressed up, because if I were reading, if I said drag queen story time, but I showed up just me, no makeup on, just Zach coming to drag queen story time and read a book, is that better for you? Because I don't have a wig on and lashes and heels, and I don't,
like, you're still the same person.
I don't look different Tell me how different that would be if I did drag story time, but everybody, like, we're just the magic sprinkles on top of a regular cupcake. Like, we add an extra element of an experience for your kids to get imaginative, because you're showing them Disney movies, you're showing them everything else. Elsa was a lesbian. And you didn't know that. And so I think that's my opinion. Do I think that kids should be around drag entertainers when they're at an age of absorbing things? Like if you come into an adult show, do I think that's too young to hear things like that? Yes, because I don't think you can process it the same way. I can explain it to you and have a conversation with you as a child and tell you these things, but you don't really get it, you don't comprehend it the same way. Just the same way I would say any drag entertainer doing an all ages show, be ridiculously careful. It's not because we're trying to say you can't express yourself however you want to or show your body however you want to. It's because we're under this microscope. And choose your song wisely, choose what is fitting to your body, because these are all things that are going to add fuel to a fire. And do you really need to bring them to a show like that? No. Don't come out in pasties and a thong. I encourage spaces that want to do all ages events to not have alcohol, which is really hard in bars, but find venues that have zero alcohol, and it's like a Chuck E. Cheese. You can get some food, people do dollars, you make it think. Like whenever I do all ages events, I feel like I can keep talking about this, whenever I do all ages events, we do it for charity. So the kids have this sense of giving back to a community thing, and we give them anywhere from $15 to $30 to each of the kids to remind them that it's great to give back and to invest into your art, your hobby, something you're passionate about. Drag is no different than a sport. You know, you train art. You put me in soccer. Was my mom grooming me to play soccer? It sounds ridiculous, but that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever you're interested in will hitch, and whatever you never want to do again won't. Exactly. There are people that came to their first drag show and they don't want to ever come back, and that's great. But they tried it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're also the same people not trying to destroy us.
Yeah.
I went to church. I don't like church. I don't go to church. But I'm not going to sit there and tell you you're a terrible person for going to church, because that's what you want to do. I'm not. You're like in my life right now. Get out. Yourself. Ooh, I feel like I could keep talking. We could do a part 2 on this, but this was a great Just Talk. Comment below any kind of topics, conversations that you want to hear more about. I don't know why I'm looking for the camera. It's right there. And we'll see you next time. Bye.